Let's turn our attention to another war which hasn't in recent months had as much attention as what's been going on in Gaza, even though, of course, innocent men, women and children dying there as well every single day for the best part of 3 years after that invasion just 1,000 and a few days ago by Russia into Ukraine. And, of course, we've had lots of developments in the last few days with the approval by the US, and clearly not stated publicly, but clearly has been given privately by the UK for the use of their ATACMS and Storm Shadow missiles to be fired, long-range missiles into Russian territory by Ukrainian forces. An attack of a, well, possibly intercontinental ballistic missile, otherwise may just be a ballistic missile back from Russia into Dnipro in Ukraine, has raised more concerns of escalation, threats of nuclear escalation even from the Kremlin. Let's talk about all of this right now with a man who's, well, on the ground dealing with this, Oleksiy Goncharenko. He's a Ukrainian MP. He's in Kyiv right now. Good afternoon to you, Oleksiy.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. We've spoken to you so many times over the past few years. I can't believe this war is still ongoing, and my frustration, and may well be echoed by many people in Ukraine, is that the West has given Ukraine so much help, just enough help to stop you losing, but not enough help to help you win and defeat the Russian invading forces. Is the use being the permission to use the ATACMS missiles, Britain's Storm Shadow missiles, to use these long-range missiles to fire into Russia, is that going to make a big difference to your war effort?
Hi, and thank you for covering us and for all your support. Speaking about this decision, it depends how many missiles will be accompanied with this permission. Because if we will have just dozens of missiles, that will not change much. So I hope that we will receive a lot of ATACMS, a lot of Storm Shadows, a lot of Scalps, and with this we really can make a difference in this war. And we are looking forward to receive as many as possible. It's very pity that it took 1,000 days of full-scale invasion and many thousands of Ukrainian lives finally make this decision. But yeah, we are thankful and we welcome that finally these decisions are made.
Yeah, I mean, again, but some might say a little bit too late. And in terms of the politics of what's been going on in America with the election and, of course, Donald Trump's arrival, how concerned are you about what's going to happen when Donald Trump is in the White House on January the 20th? Because certainly we just talked about Israel and Gaza. You know, he's made it so clear his support for helping Israel destroy Hamas in Gaza. But he's also made it very clear that he wants to end the war in Ukraine and bring everyone to the negotiating table, given that Russia still holds Crimea since 2014 and now holds large stretches of the Donbass region. What are your concerns about Donald Trump's presidency?
You know, I have more hopes than concerns. Because Donald Trump also said that he will drop oil prices, which is a very good thing if he will do it. And that can have a devastating effect on Russian war chest. Because the only reason why Russia can continue this war is that they continue to receive huge money from oil and gas. Yeah. And I hope with Trump this can change. Secondly, when he's saying, I want to finish the war, to end the war, you know, I want it. And believe me, nobody in the world wants this war to be finished more than Ukrainians do. We hope, we pray about this every day, every minute. The question is that it should be peace, not a ceasefire. And the second question, that it should be a fair peace. So we will see how it will go. I believe that Donald Trump wants to have victory in Ukraine. He loves to win, not to lose. But is his definition of victory the same with ours? That's something we need to clarify, and we don't know for the moment.
I saw a poll recently of Ukrainian people saying over half, but not much more than half, of Ukrainian people are willing to continue the war, say, you know, they have to fight and wouldn't give up territory to end the war. Lots of people in the West saying, look, but we just want peace. We need to end this war. It's costing lives in Ukraine. It's costing billions and billions and billions of dollars to Western allies. And actually, everyone would be better off if there was some sort of peace deal. Everyone came to the table and a bit of territory was ceded off to Russia and we got back to peace. Would you support that? And if not, why not?
First of all, we will never accept that our territories are Russian. That is impossible. Nobody in the world can push us to this, and we are all against this. But the question is, can we reclaim these territories without military support from the United States, for example, as our main military partner? And the answer is no, for the moment, not. So we need to make some decisions. The best thing, and a lot of depends from the West, if the West will give us everything we need, but right now, many missiles, all permissions, all weaponry, all ammunition, all stuff we need, we still can have a big victory and kick out Russians from our territory. If not, in this case, the West should help us to have a real deal and kind of negotiations, again, which will never mean that we accept that these territories are Russian.
But if
we can, how and when we will reclaim them, it will be an open question.
Right, but if Donald Trump says basically there's no more money, there's no more weaponry coming, would you have a choice?
No, we wouldn't.
What's your message to my audience? We have quite a lot of disputes on this show about this. I say that we give you everything, and we should have, on day one, given you everything we need to defeat Vladimir Putin and to win back all of your territory. I think we've been dragging our feet too much on this, and people in the West are too fearful of standing up to a murderous, tyrannical dictator like Vladimir Putin. I think you're on the front line of the war that we are going to have to eventually fight with this man. What do you say to the people who say, look, this is just warmongering, this isn't people in the West, look, this isn't our fight, this is something between Ukraine and Russia, they've got history. Vladimir Putin felt that Russia was under threat, it's not our problem, walk away. What do you say to those people?
I have two messages to those people. First of all, if they think that this is the war of Putin against just Ukraine, they should, first of all, to remind Salisbury. Secondly, they need to switch on Russian propaganda for 1 hour. More, it would be a big problem for their psychical health. But they will hear that every day on main Russian TV, they are telling that they need to destroy London, Washington, Berlin, Paris. They're not speaking so much about Kyiv, because they're already trying to destroy us. They're speaking every day about destroying you, every day. So if they will not be stopped, believe me, they were telling the same about Kyiv before. Many people, even here in Ukraine, were saying, no, it's just blah, blah, blah. It happens, it's not. So the same is about you. And secondly, in 1994, exactly 30 years ago in December, Ukraine voluntarily gave up nuclear weaponry. And that was made under pressure from the United Kingdom and United States. And under this pressure, we gave our nukes to Russia. If we would have nukes, nobody ever would touch us. But we gave up, we received from you guarantees. And if you are decent people, and if you're a decent nation, you can't just say, this is a paper, you can go to toilet with this. You need to be with us as much as you can, and maximum. And sorry, again, I am very thankful for all support we are receiving, but still, no United States, no United Kingdom is standing for us 100%, like it should be, according to the responsibilities which you took 30 years ago.
Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian MP in Kyiv there in the Ukrainian Parliament, thank you for joining us. Philip Ingram, as a former senior military intelligence officer, your response to what he had to say?
Well, I agree with him completely. One of the things we have to realise is that not all wars are won or lost in the tactical battles, and we're measuring everything by what's going on tactically on the front line. If you look at Vietnam, the United States didn't lose a single tactical battle in Vietnam. But they lost the war. And what the Ukrainians are doing, what the international community is doing, is hollowing Russia out. We need to hit them more economically. We need to hit the resources more. In the last year, simple things, butter's gone up 30%, potatoes gone up 65%, the ruble's collapsing, Chinese banks are turning around putting extra checks in for credit before they'll allow transfers. That's what's really going to hurt Russia in a big way. And therefore, if Trump comes in and gets the international oil price to drop, that will hurt Russia.
As US being a major oil producer.
As Oleksiy said in that, that'll have a massive impact. As long as the Ukrainians can hold on the front line, the conditions can be set to force the Russians to have to withdraw because their country, their economy and their country will collapse.
Yeah, indeed, 40% of government spending in Russia now is on the war effort.
Exactly.
Absolutely extraordinary. And again, the Russian people are not being told the full truth. You even turn up, you turn up in Red Square. Even, remember when people were being arrested just for holding a blank piece of paper up? Just holding a blank piece of paper up, just saying, I can't write what I want to think. Just a blank piece of paper. These people disappeared. Yeah. Just an extraordinary thing. Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know a lot of you disagree with me on this one, but I always tell you what I think. I think we should be foursquare behind Ukraine. I think we should be foursquare behind Israel. I'm not a warmonger. I just think you need to stand up to warmongers and terrorists. It's an old-fashioned idea. We used to have a little bit of a backbone here in the West, didn't we?